Honestly, I didn't plan to make another video about this, but I think we are in a very crucial moment in the skins trading right now. Basically, we are 2 days away from the release of the market. So in 2 days time, or maybe when you see this video, it's already happened. We will experience the biggest crash in knives and gloves. That's what I think. So in this video, I have stated some important things that you can avoid, or also opportunities for you to make some money in this meta. So let's go through some of the covert skin price prediction. I have spent quite a number of time thinking about this prediction, and right now I think I can give a good summary on what you should invest or what you should prevent investing. This video mainly will go through the CS2 covert skin price prediction in general. What are coverts used for? What is the actual price for a covert right now? What coverts to sell now? What are trash skin in this meta? I mean, by the looks of it, you probably already know. And what coverts or case should you invest today? Which brings us to this video for the covert price prediction, as well as what you should invest today. So let's get right into it. So first of all, what are coverts used for? In the past, coverts are for cosmetic skins. There is no way you can trade up to a covert. So in the past, it's just a cosmetic skin, such as like your AK Vulcan, your Prince Dream, M4, you know. You could just think that covert are just reaching that stage and that's the end of it. But recently, there is an update which you can trade up to 5 coverts for a gold. They are no longer called gold anymore. They are called coverts as well, actually. So I think Valve have changed the extraordinary or rare into covert, so there is no more gold right now in the game. Right now, however, any grade under covert like classified mil-spec, you can trade up to a higher grade and you require 10 of them. This is what we know in the past, that you can still trade up to classified, to mil-spec, and to something that's even higher, which is like you go from mil-spec blah 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 to classified blah 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 to covert. Then now covert you can change to knife, which is like it just drives all the classified, all the mil-spec up, because they want the knives and gloves in their case. So that is why basically all the low tier item has gone up in price. So let's break down what is the actual price of a covert. So in reality, in our CSGO case opening, the chances of getting all these rarity items are as follow. Mil-spec is about 80%, restricted is about 16%, classified is about 3.2%, coverts are 0.64%, and gold are 0.26%. You probably already know this number, but this actually plays a very important role when we are converting all these rarity into gloves and knives. So the chances of all these covert, auxiliary, etc. has changed the perspective of how we see cases, which we will go through that in a moment. So let's just say that we are trying to find the actual value for a covert. So let's just say we open 100 CSGO cases. On average, we will get about 80 mil-spec, 16 restricted, 3.2 classified, 0.64 coverts, and 0.26 knives and gloves. So now let's factor in if we were to convert all these mil-spec, restricted, etc. into coverts. So we will use 79.92 divide by 10, which is like we use 10 of them, and then we add on the next restricted, which is about 16. We add them both up, we divide by 10. We do this for everything. We should get about 1.2 coverts for every 100 cases. However, since now we know that for coverts we can convert 5 into 1 knife and glove. So we can take in the factor of using 0.26, which is the knife and glove chances, multiplied by 5. So the previous, if you were to cover everything, we'll get 1.2 coverts. We use this 1.2 coverts plus 0.26 multiplied by 5, it will give us 2.5 coverts per 100 case. So from if you see this number, previously it was 1.2 coverts every 100 case, but now it's doubled. It's 2.5 coverts per 100 case. So there is a vast difference in terms of case drops. Basically, cases like the value of case technically should be doubled by 2 times, but we'll explain that later on. So on average, we'll be getting 2.5 coverts for every 100 case. So let's factor in, if let's say one case, like it will cost you about $3 because 2.5 is used for keys, and let's say 50 cents for cases. Right now, the average price of a case, some is maybe a bit cheaper, like we have recoil case, which is like 20 cents, right? But let's just factor in 50 cents per case, because on average that's pretty much 50 cents. So if you factor in $300 for 100 case, so on average, if you use $300, which is 100 case, divided by 2.5, which is the 2.5 coverts that we calculated just now, it will give us $120 per covert. So now we know that one covert, the actual value for a covert, if we were to base by opening cases, it's worth $120. So I'm not sure for now, but in my opinion, I don't think that a normal covert, like a normal covert, you know, just like a normal knife, or like basically a normal covert, regardless is like a battle scar or field tester or factory nail, this covert can never reach $120. So that is for sure, and I think we get that very clear. My prediction for coverts in the future, because of the functionality that we can trade up to a knife, is gonna be ranging somewhere around $20 to $60 for any coverts after the market settles down. So in my opinion, I don't think coverts will ever fall below $20, because there is a use case for coverts now, so there is no way that it will drop below 20. But whether it will go beyond 60, I would say it will be some coverts, but it's not gonna be the average coverts. So I would say it will range between 20 to 60, depending on how the market reacts. However, right now, in making of this video, coverts have dropped a bit. It's about $35. But I would say if we happen to see it going over $60, which is more likely impossible, I would recommend selling them at $60 if we ever reach that stage. So let's get to the point of what coverts to sell now. Like we have gone through the previous video, we know that it's not worth selling all coverts, but you know, you should be keeping some coverts at some point. But some coverts are really just for cosmetic purposes, and people are just randomly buying it. As long as they see a covert, they will just get it, even probably if it's like a Op Krakow or like a Op or Regage. When they see, oh, it's covert, I'll buy it, you know. That's the mindset of people right now, and that's how the Steam market is reacting right now. Based on my previous video, you should have roughly know some of the skins you should not be keeping. So these are the skins that you should take note of, which is your Op Hyper Beast, your Aquamarine, your Desert Strike, your Vulcan, Golden Coil, USPQ Confirm, Battlestar, and your Fuel Injector. So all these skins, they are basically a single knife case. So these knives, they are not valuable at I mean right now, unless there is like a really great collector, like this collector, he's planning to hunt for blue gems on all these cases, then he's gonna be the one hunting for blue gems, he's gonna be the one opening these cases, right? But the value for this case is just for the blue gem itself. And if you were to take a look in my perspective of what I mean, so if we were to go to trade up spy again, and we were to take any of the skins, let's just say we use aquamarine, and we use a factory new aquamarine, we use 5 of them, and we calculate the outcomes, right? The outcome for case hardened Xiaochen knife is over here, so the outcome is 7.69%. Let's factor in 7.69% into the calculator, 0.0769. This is the percentage he's getting a case hardened, and inside a case hardened there is like 1,000 patterns, so we have to use 0.07 divided by 1,000. That is the actual chance of profiting in a case for a certain pattern, for like one pattern, and there is not like one pattern for case hardened, right? There's like 5 patterns or something, 5 or 6, some is 4, so let's just keep it to 5. So the chances of profiting from a case hardened, right, is literally multiplied by 100, 0.03% of profiting by opening a case, and one case costs you about, right now it's about $35 US, right? So on average 0.038% you could get a case hardened, and you are spending $35 for every single open. Just imagine the ROI is not gonna be worth it in the long term. So I don't think that people right now care about case hardened that much, because right now we have so many alternatives, right? People are laying their hands on easily on blue steel. You have like some shit knives, knights, urban mice, etc., right? They are not gonna care so much about case hardened blue gem, right? But so far, from what I can tell, do not invest in cases in this category. What cases you should be selling right now, or if you are holding a certain type of coverts, you should be selling all this immediately. So that's it, right? Some of these cases, they have really bad return of investment, in my opinion, right? So you have the Neo-Noir Glock, you have the M4 Living Color, you have the Traitor, you have the Chromatic Aberration, and you have the USP Print Stream. If you are holding all these basically trash skins or trash coverts right now, I will recommend you selling it right now. Okay, so for the MP7 Bloodsport, M4 Neo-Noir, Headshot, and your Temucal, all these skins, they have pretty bad ROI. It depends on what kind of condition you are holding them. If you are holding field tested and well worn and battle scarred, right? Because if you were to use all these 3 conditions to trade up into a glove, most likely you are gonna get field tested glove. And if you take a look over here, this is the total amount of gloves unboxed throughout a few days, like about 3 to 4 days. This is the data that is collected. If you can see in this picture itself, most of the gloves over here, they are all field tested. So all these 391 vice gloves, you have like what, 352 amphibious gloves, 322 omega gloves flooding into the market. And just imagine how uncommon is those field tested gloves gonna be in a short period of time. So all these gloves is gonna go down in value, and it will not be worth it to do a trade up for field tested, well worn and battle scarred gloves. So if you have these skins that is in that condition, I would recommend selling it right away. So regarding about what is the trash skins in this meta, right? I would say it depends, but from the data we have collected in the past, people doesn't care what coverts you have, right? In the past, they do not care about rarity. If the rarity stops at that stage, that's it. They do not care. So one example is the MP7 Bloodsport. Okay, so in the past, if you take a look at the data right here, this is in Singapore dollars. So in US dollars, is divided by 1.3. As you can see, if you use 2.6 divided by 1.3 is literally $2, right? So you can tell that people don't care what rarity you have, because end of the day, rarity is just a rarity. They only care about cosmetics, because skins are cosmetics, right? So if you happen to have those knives that is in the safari category, urban mask category, it is gonna fall even lower, because they do not care. They do not care about the rarity of this skin, unless this skin have the opportunity to be traded for another skin, then the value will go up. But since we know that knives, by reaching this category, it is a full stop for knives, it's just gonna be leftovers that nobody will want it, because there's no use for it. It's just gonna be scraps, right? So if you happen to be collecting scraps like safari meshes, urban masks, or even probably now is vanilla, right? So all these skins, there is a possibility for them to go to a value of $10, and it is really possible from the data we have seen in MP7 Bloodsport. Like literally, this cover skin was selling at $2. They do not care about rarity. If that item is useless, it's gonna be useless. So do not pick up trash on the floor and thinking that, hey, this knife is used to be selling at $100, now I get it for $40. I'm sorry, it's just gonna drop even more. It's gonna drop like $10 or even $5. Who knows, right? Because they do not care, right? So it's gonna end up like MP7 Bloodsport. It's just gonna be a knife that nobody cares, unless they make another future update that you can trade up to 5 coverts, including knives, to reroll that condition for another chance to reroll for a knife and a glove. Then it will shoot up. But will that happen? I don't know. We'll see about that. So in this meta, like what I said earlier, the trash skin meta, in my opinion, is gonna be your flip knives, your gut knives, your falchion knives, your bowie knives, huntsman, shadow daggers, stiletto. I do think that stiletto and ursus and navaja, stiletto and ursus is gonna be trash in the future. Like, it's not gonna be worth opening them or keeping them right now. Your navaja, honestly, nomad and survival and paracord, I think they are in the skeleton category. So in order for the case to be profitable, some of the knives has to be sacrificed, right? And that said, if you are holding these knives in certain materials such as Doppler or Gamma Doppler, I would say it's gonna be worth keeping them. But if you are in this material condition, like your Damascus steel, your ultraviolet, your rust coat, your slaughter, actually I'm thinking whether I should put slaughter in it, but having a second thought, I also think that they do not care about slaughters anymore. I mean, they used to care about slaughters, right? But in this skin meta, I don't think they care about it. Case hardened, right? As long as they are not blue gems, they do not care. Your crimson web, I mean, they used to have some kind of pattern, like spider patterns, and they call that a rarity in knives, right? I don't know what they call that, like some kind of web pattern. If your web has a certain circle, it's gonna be worth more, right? But let me tell you, this meta, they do not care, right? So your crimson mat is gonna be worthless, your blue steel is gonna be worthless, your stain, your night, scorched, your urban mask, boreal forest, Forest DD pad, your Safari meshes, and even vanilla. I'm thinking whether I should put vanilla in this category, but I do think that they fall in the category that nobody cares, because right now it's too easy to unbox them. So they will probably only care about 1 to 2 material, like your Dopplers and the Gamma Dopplers, right? And your black laminate, your freehand, and your bright water. All this sounds pretty good in the past because the chances of getting a gold is just 0.26, but now it's like literally 0.5, right? So the chances have been doubled. All these materials, if you are holding them, and if you think you had a good offer by getting it cheap, I would suggest you immediately sell it. They are not worth an investment. And if you think I'm telling you the wrong thing, and if you think they are gonna stay at $40, you will see in the long term it's just gonna fall lower and lower. It's gonna be $10 and probably a knife that nobody even knows in the future, right? So I do not suggest you to invest in them today. Find something that is more high tier and rarer to get, which will get back to the solution later on. So what are some of the skins in terms of gloves, right? Because we have talked about knives previously, now let's talk about gloves, right? So in your gloves category, you have basically a few categories. I did not include the Hydra because in Trade Spy they haven't updated it, and I don't really care trying to search it up. But basically Hydra, they are worthless as well, right? All the Hydra gloves, unless it's a case hardened, they might be worth something, but end of the day, they are just gonna be scraps. They are just gonna be scraps and scraps. So your sports gloves, let's go through some of your trash gloves, at least in my opinion right now, right? Your slingshot, slingshot used to be pretty cool, but I think if you have this condition in field tested, right, they're just not gonna care. Your Scarlet Shama, your Big Game, your Bronze Moth, your Moto Gloves is gonna be your Cool Mints. If you have factory new or minimal wear Cool Mints, they might care, but if you are at field tested level, they probably do not care, right? Your Boom, your Eclipse, your Smokeout, Blood Pressure, Third Commando Company, your Polygon Gloves. Polygon looks pretty cool. It matches some setups, but in this meta, because too many people are unboxing them and they sort of fall below the category of rarity, so nobody would probably care. Your Turtle Gloves, your POW, your Transport Gloves, and your Specialist Gloves is gonna be your Forest DD pad, your Field Agent. Field Agent, it could be good, but in this meta right now, right, it's just gonna be worthless if you have field tested ones, so throw them away immediately. Your LT Commander, your Crimson Web, your Mogul, your Buckshot, all these are trash skins. If you have them, just throw it. They're just gonna fall lower and lower because nobody is gonna pick them up if it's not rare, right? If the rarity is not there, they do not care. For your driver gloves, it's gonna be your Crimson Weave, your Diamondback, Lunar Weave, Convoy, Queen Jaguar, Reason the Red, your Overtake, and your Racing Green. Those are trash, throw them away. Your hand wraps, try to avoid everything. Your Hydra gloves, throw them away. That said, I'm talking about gloves that are in the field tested, well worn, and battle scarred category. These are the categories that nobody would care anymore. They will probably look into minimal wear or factory new gloves that is circulating in the market right now. The rest, throw them away. They're just gonna fall even lower, right? So that's it for gloves. These are the skins that you should not be keeping them. So your 5/7 Hyper Beast, Onitaji, Buzzkill, Dragonfire. But wait, these are the skins that is useless if you have them in Stat Track. Right, if you have a Stat Track Glock New North, Stat Track M4 Prestream, Stat Track Living Color, Stat Track USP Traitor, Orb Aberration, Prestream, your Bloodsport, New North, Headshot, Tembukao, if you have them in stat track, right, they cannot be used in a contract. So if you don't believe me, try to buy one in the Steam market. You know, try to figure out yourself and see whether you can put them up in a trade up. They cannot be placed in a trade up. So all these skins, right, they are just gonna fall in value, and eventually they are gonna be worth, like, in my opinion, they'll probably be worth like $10. You know, coverts, the lowest it could go for non-stat track in this condition, it will go to $20, but the lowest that the stat track would go is probably $10 because they do not care. Like, if let's say you have like a stat track USP trader in battle scarred condition, it cannot be used to trade up to a knife, right? It's just for cosmetic purposes. They're just gonna use that to play in game, right? It's not gonna be useless. It's not gonna be useful in a trade up, and you cannot be used in a trade up. So if you have any of these stat track coverts, right, I would recommend you to sell it immediately. In general, gloves work very differently in skin trade up. Previously, it's just case opening. You get a field tester gloves, you get a minimal wear gloves, and the chances is like 10% for a factory new, 20% for like a minimal wear, 40% for a field tested, etc., right? But now, since you are doing trade ups, float in the covert skins does matters. So I saw a very important tweet about this. I think they got the data from the trade up spy. They have some kind of formula to do it. You can chat GPT and find the formula. But basically, this is the tweet that I saw, which is quite interesting. So these are actually the floats that you can obtain for gloves in terms of the coverts. So you can put out 5 Dragonfire, and it can trade up to your factory new gloves. But if you do think that just trading 5 Dragonfire can get you a factory new gloves, you are wrong, because there is a minimum float cap for you to achieve certain grade. So for example, if you were to trade up a SSG Dragonfire, if you were to put up a 0.0067 or above, you are not gonna get that glove that you desire. Why not just use Trade Up Spy to find out? Because Trade Up Spy is like a really important website that you need to find out the calculation behind it. So if you were to go to Trade Up Spy and we were to put in, let's say, 5 Dragonfire at 0.0068, right? If you were to put up Dragonfire and we put up factory new ones at 0.0068, right? Just press this button to duplicate them. You are not gonna get factory new gloves, right? Because you have basically not met the float cap. Float cap is very important for covert trade ups. So people are buying factory new skins and they think they can trade out to a factory new gloves. It's not gonna happen. They're just throwing their money away, right? So if we were to use that graph and we take a look again, right, you need a 0.006757. So let's just use 0.0067 and find out whether we will get a factory new glove. So as you can see right here, you will get a factory new Pandora's box. So what does it mean? It means that there is now a new tier in between for Dragonfire. There is like a factory new Dragonfire, and on top of the factory new Dragonfire, there is like a factory new Dragonfire on top. But this factory new Dragonfire is hidden from the float cap, so nobody knows that this exists. But they just thought that, oh, I can trade up like a factory new Dragonfire to a glove, you know, and they just buy like $500 multiple by 5. They think that 2.5k they have an odds of making money, but sorry, they are not gonna make it. You know, like if they were to buy something like 0.0068 a Dragonfire, right, they're just gonna lose money, because right now this costs about $500, right? And the best condition you can get for minimal wear is not even $2,000. They are just guaranteed a loss in terms of this trade up. So they think that they are making money, but actually they are not. So I would say that it's very important for them to find out what is the actual foot cap they should be getting, even they are trading for factory new gloves. I mean, even if they are using for factory new skins, right? Factory new Dragonfires. So just be careful of the foot cap thing. And that's it, right? If you were to trade up a factory new for Gen 1 gloves, which is over this category in our Excali draw, this category gloves, your H Maze, your Slaughter, etc. This category, right? Your Cat C1. If you were to trade up for these gloves, right? If you were to trade up factory new, you will get minimal wear. If you were to trade up minimal wear, you will get field tested. If you were to trade field tested, you will get well worn. If you were to trade well worn, you will get battle scarred. If you were to trade battle scarred, you will get battle scarred basically. So the moral of the story, right, is that you shouldn't be keeping, or you shouldn't be treating well worn the same way as battle scarred. They are equally the same. So well worn equals to battle scarred now, and that is the summary basically. And because this is Gen 1 gloves, so you have to understand there is like a downgrade to it. Even if you were to trade minimal wear Dragonfires, right, you will still be getting field tested gloves. Do not believe? Let's find out, right? So if you were to trade up minimal wear Dragonfires, that's what they always think. They think that, hey, you know, I trade up minimal wear Dragonfires, I can get a minimal wear gloves, you know, because it's cheap, so I'll buy more. You know, it's not gonna happen. You're just gonna get field tested gloves, and the reason because even you are using the best float, right? Because if you take a look over here, right, the float cap for Dragonfire is over here. So for minimal wear, the lowest float is 0.07, right? And that's even if you use the best float cap in minimal wear. If you change to 0.071, right, which is like the best float cap, and guess what? You're still getting field tested gloves. And the reason behind it, because of Gen 1 gloves. So if you take a look in this tweet, right, in order to achieve minimal wear gloves, right, technically for Dragonfire, you have to use 0.06 gloves, which is also known as your factory new Dragonfire, because this Dragonfire is a bit special. Yeah, so basically what happened is they have screwed up in the Dragonfire, because Dragonfire is pretty new at the time, and they have screwed up on the float cap. You cannot find any Dragonfire that is above 0.5 float cap. That is why it is important for you to know that if you were to trade up a Dragonfire, you have to use factory new Dragonfires to trade up to minimal wear gloves. And do take note, even if you use factory new Dragonfire to trade up, right, this is the interesting part. Even if you use factory new Dragonfires to trade up to that glove, it has to be below 0.06, right? So we know that factory new are the max float for factory new is 0.07, right? But if you were to use 0.069 or 61, you couldn't get minimal wear gloves as well. That's crazy, right? So if you don't believe me, right, let's find out, right? So if you were to use factory new Dragonfire over here, right, and we were to change the float cap from 0.035 all the way to 0.061, which is like somewhere above 0.06, right? And beware, this is factory new Dragonfire, right? And guess what? If I were to trade 5 of them, you are still getting field tested gloves. And the reason why is because you have not met the float cap requirement for minimal wear gloves, which is 0.0608. if you did not meet this float cap, you will not get minimal wear gloves, even if you are using a factory new trade out. That's crazy, right? So you have to change, or you have to find something that is at a range of 0.06 or below. And right now, if you were to use 5 of these, and finally you can trade out to a minimal wear gloves. And that is quite crazy and quite insane to me, finding this out, because once you have figured this out, you could technically be able to find very, very cheap alternatives right now. Because since now you know the float cap, you can snatch all the float cap that is in the market right now. Anything that is below a certain float cap is worth to buy. So what I would say, what is worth to buy right now is to buy all coverts that is below the float cap of 0.0067. So below this float cap, 0.0067, is gonna be the float cap that rich people who are trying to hunt the glove, right? They are gonna buy 0.0067 float cap for coverts, for the trade up. So if you were, so let's say because Dragonfire it is really hard to find 0.0067 Dragonfires, right? As you can see, there's only 1,000 circulating right now, only 1,000 of them, and it's very rare for you to lay your hands on these Dragonfires. It's either gonna be really rare, or it's gonna be someone that will take one Dragonfire and trade up with a bunch of coverts. So what I think the future trade up for factory new HMA glove, the formula, is gonna be something like this, right? It's gonna be finding a really rare Dragonfire at, probably you cannot find that right now actually, 0.067, right? And they are going to be putting 4 random, or maybe like 4 random covert skins that is meeting that range of 0.0067 range. So for example, they might be using something like a neon or neo-nor, right? They are gonna be hunting for these floats. So 0.067 is gonna be the hunting range. And what's gonna happen is that because the Dragonfire is gonna be too rare, so they might be using other items, other coverts that meets the requirement in order for a trade up that is worthy for a chance at a HMA's glove. So this is what I think Sparkles would do in the future. So they will be doing something like this, right? And the chances of getting the HMA's glove factory new is gonna be a bunch of random knives, and 20% chance of meeting that glove case category. And inside the glove case category, you have like a 0.83% of getting the Pandora's box. This is gonna be the future. This is gonna be the future trade up contracts that people are going to do. So if you happen to have the opportunity to lie your hands in coverts that is in the range of 0.0067, that's a take. That is a must take, because they are gonna be using this for a trade up. Let's just say in the future, the price of this is gonna be $500, right? In the future, so 500 is gonna be about $2,000. So $2,000 add on the current $2,000 is gonna be $4,000, and they are gonna use this $4,000 at 1% chance at a Pandora's box. This is gonna be the future update, and people are gonna do that, right? People are going to hunt the Pandora's box, and they're gonna use this formula in the future. So if you happen to have a chance to get all these new NOS right now, or these coverts right now that has a really low float cap, I would highly recommend getting it, because there will be people hunting for the Pandora's box in the future. I mean, as you can see in the current float cap, there's only 1% who have achieved it. You can literally see there's like people who have achieved 1 Pandora's, 1 Vice, and 1 bronze, whatever, bronze morph, right? It's gonna be so rare, and people in the long term is gonna be hunting down for these gloves by doing trade ups like this. So they are just gonna repeat this process, repeat and repeat and repeat, and eventually they are gonna finish up all the coverts. And this is the point you have to step in and tell them that, hey, I have a covert right here that is 0.0067 and I'm going to sell it to you for $500, right? So this is how you make profit in the future, by keeping all the rare coverts in your inventory. CS float is unable to track floats that for guns, but hopefully in the future they might exclude a functionality for that, so that we can see how many float cap of coverts that is in the range of 0.0067. We'll find out in the future. So in your category C, which is your amphibious, your omega, your polygon, your fade gloves, these are the category that is worth investing or worth taking a look, because these categories are actually Gen 2 gloves, and they do care about Vice, your amphibious, and your fade gloves, and your king sneak, right? They really care about this. Imperial plate, maybe. I'm not sure how the market reacts right now, because it's purple, it's the only purple glove in CS, right? So they might care about this case. So majority of the item in this case is really high value. So in the long term, I would say cases in this category is gonna go up in the long term. So the same principle goes to trading these gloves. So these gloves is actually under the Revolution and Clutch case, which is over here. These four skins, your Neo Noir, your Bloodsport, your Headshot, and your Thermocow, these are skins that is worth trading. However, do take note that because these are Gen 2 gloves, so actually you have to be aware of what you hunt. So if you are hunting for M4 Neo Noir that is above the range of 0.11, you know, 0.11 minimal wear M4 Neo Noir is gonna be worthless. Let's just do a test to find out, right? Let's say that you have M4 Neo Noir and you have a minimal wear one, and the float cap for this is 0.11, right? And if you think that trading 4 Neo Noir minimal wear will get you that your dream minimal wear gloves, you will be wrong, because you'll be getting field tested gloves as said. So beware of the float, beware of what you get in the market. Do aim for 0.109 or below if you were to take the market right now, because this 0.109, right, just 0.001 difference is just gonna change the trajectory of how covert to glove works. So if you were to take 0.109 and multiply by 5, that is when you can get minimal wear vice gloves. So I would say open your eyes if you can have the opportunity to buy this category, right? Just buy it, right? Just hunt all of these down, because these are the key for you to get minimal wear gloves. They actually have the same value as a factory new Neo Noir, because if you are following a range of 0.109 or above, right? If I have a Neo Noir that is a factory new, right? And guess what? They are still gonna get minimal wear gloves, so they have the same value as a factory new Neo Noir. Isn't that scary? Although the market doesn't recognize this way, but you have to know float really matters in this case. So if you can hunt them down, right? And that said, is it possible for you to get factory new vice gloves? That I would say yes, it's pretty much possible, because you just have to hunt down the actual float for that. So in this case, right, you have to hunt for 0.012. If you can find 0.012 or better neo NOS that is worth to hunt for it, right? If you take a look at 0.012, and we multiply by 5 of them, that is when you can get the infamous factory new vice gloves that's cost about, it's pretty rare right now. So King Snake, your amphibious, and your vice. And if you take a look in this chart, there's actually people already doing that. So your vice, there's 1 people that have hunted it down, and yeah. So Nox probably is gonna be very rare for factory new, so you just have to, yeah. So there's already people hunted a vice gloves right now. If you can hunt it right now, or if you happen to have the opportunity to find a rare float cap of 0.012, I think it's definitely worth a buy, because this is gonna be legendary in the future. People are just gonna trade these with 4 random coverts in the future for the chance at a 1% for a vice glove in the future. So do take note that these crafts are very important. Maybe it might be actually worth for you to do a trade up right now if you know this knowledge. Personally, I will be revealing my portfolio on what float I have sniped, as well as what float cap that I have achieved or I have gotten once the update releases. Maybe like in 3 months or 4 months, I'll be doing that. So I'll be sharing what have I sniped in this meta for these categories, and I'll be sharing like the principle of how I got those guns, right? So it's a bit complicated. You just have to see this again if you're unsure, like how to get field tested, what is the requirement for that. Yeah, and nobody cares about well-worn gloves, so there's no data for well-worn gloves because nobody cares. So yeah, so now what we have observed is that the cases have doubled the chance for gloves and knives. So right now, if you think in a logical manner, right, does it mean that gloves should double in price, right? This is the main question, and I would say it is not gonna double in price for cases. Let's think of 2 scenarios, right? The first scenario is that if our gloves and knives stays the same value, right, the cases technically should double in value. So now we know that our gloves and knives lost 50% or more in this update. Technically, the cases should stay the same price, and it's gonna adjust in the long term, right? But I would say if you have the funds now, do not invest in cases. It's not a worthy investment. The only right investment right now, or the only solution right now, is to find the right covert to invest, right? Is to find the right covert. It's not about cases anymore. It's not like finding, oh, whether I should invest in Dreams or Nightmare case, whether I should invest in Recoil case, whether Revolution case maybe is pretty good. No, it's not gonna be case investments anymore. It's gonna be coverts investment in the future, because nobody is gonna spend time opening cases, watching the animation for a chance to win gold. It's just gonna be another forms of gambling. The new form of gambling is just gonna be putting 5 coverts, and this covert will change to a knife or a glove, right? This is gonna be the new gamble meta. Nobody is gonna be opening cases in the future. So just bear in mind that do not invest in cases unless to a point that certain rarity is worth opening. Then probably you should observe some cases in the future. But for now, they are just gonna be focusing fully on coverts. You just have to find the right covert to invest in today's day and age. So let's find out what coverts we should be investing, shall we? So this is the actual data, right? This is the gems that were unboxed in this meta. So phase 1, we have about 1,000 gems coming into the market right now. Phase 2, we have about 1,000 as well. Phase 3 and phase 4. So overall, there's like 4,000 gems coming to the market alone. How do you get gems, right? Basically, it's like they open category A knives, which is over here, either your gamma Doppler or your Dopplers. So this is Doppler category and this gamma Doppler category. So your Doppler category, basically you have all these coverts, and your gamma Doppler you have these coverts, and it goes the same for your butterfly, your butterfly knives, your talon, there's one over here, yeah, right, and your skeleton Doppler, which is over here. So as you can see, the number of coverts in category A is insane, and that is the reason why the market has fluctuated with a ton of gems. So you can see there's literally about 40 butterflies, 40 emeralds being unboxed, right? And that sums up that a lot of gems are coming into the game right now, about 1,000. Although the total supply is not, the total supply for butterfly emeralds only increased by a few, right? What I mean by that is that if you were to search, let's say, CS float, right? And let's find out how many emerald butterfly is circulating in the market right now. So if you were to take in accounting in CS float, right? There's a total of 1,070 Dopplers found, and if you were to do the math, 1,470 minus of the initial 40 that's added into the pool, there's about 1,430 initially. So we use 40 divided by 1430 multiplied by 100. There's only like 2.5% Doppler emerald entering into the market, right? So people are just over panicking in this case. It's not really that bad for gamma Dopplers. And that's it, right? What you should be investing today, or it's not financial advice, but if it's me, what I would be investing today is I'll probably follow the majority. So I'll probably hunt for emeralds as well. And to hunt for emeralds, or to qualify for this trade up, you will need Eagle, Ocean Eagle, your Ocean Drive, Desert Eagle, your AK Lead Monsieur, your Starlight, and your Night Wishes. These are the skins that is gonna be worth investing, right? However, I do have another approach, because I think Dreams and Nightmare and your AK, basically your Dreams and Nightmare, Starlight, and your Night Wish might be too common, right? Because end of the day, it's still coming out, right? There's still a bunch of Starlight and Night Wishes in the market right now. So in my opinion, the rich people or the pumpers, right, they must switch directions, and instead of putting their investment in butterfly emeralds, they might switch their point of view into karambit emeralds. To support my point, right, if you can take a look in this Excali draw, over here, right, you have your gamma Doppler in category A2, right? You have your Ocean Drive, Lead Monsieur, your Starlight, and a Night Wish. Initially, during the operational Riptide, it is just these two Ks, right? To hunt for your butterfly emerald, right? But because they have came out with this crazy thing called the Dreams and Nightmare, which is really crazy, that you can have the same odds of opening for operational Riptide. In my opinion, this has definitely make it a lot easier to achieve the butterfly emerald, and that is why the market shares, also known as the increment in supply for gamma Dopplers, is twice as much as normal Dopplers. So you can take a look at this data over here, right? Your gamma Dopplers for your butterfly is increment by 40, whereas if you look at your ruby and sapphire, for that butterfly is only increment by 21, and your sapphire only increased by 15. So actually, a lot of people is hunting for the emerald butterfly because of how easy it is to trade up Night Wishes and your Starlight Protector for it. So in my opinion, in the future, what they might do in the future is they might shift their focus into Karambit Emerald because that is way harder to achieve. To support my point, if you take a look in your Karambit Emerald, right, the skins that supports it is your Wasteland Rebel, your M4 Mecha Industry, your Roll Cage, and your Neon Revolution, which the price is insanely high right now. So I think the focus of the rich people, they might pump the Karambit Emeralds in the next. Like I think that will be their direction next. So you might want to focus your eyes in the M4 Mecha Industry, your Farmers Roll Cage, your Neon Revolution, and your Wasteland Rebel. You might want to focus on these 4 skins instead of these 4 skins. So that is my suggestion. Or maybe it might be actually worth to invest in a Karambit Emerald because Dreams and Nightmare just makes the game much easier, right? The rich might just buy up all the coverts in this category, in the future. That's my prediction, right? They might just buy up this category because it's much more easier for them to buy up, right? This Gamma and Gamma 2 collection is like really long ago. It's not really long ago, but the rarity for these items, right? As you can see from Wasteland Rebel, like when you heard Wasteland Rebel, it's an old skin. When you heard Neon Revolution, it's an old skin, right? So in my opinion, they might shift their pumping direction into Karambit Emeralds. It might actually be worth for you to get your hands on a Karambit Emerald today because you are gonna see a vast difference between Karambit Emerald and Butterfly Emerald in the future. I think they are just gonna even out, but I think in the long term, Karambit Dopplers, or also known as Karambit Emeralds, is gonna skyrocket to the moon, and we are gonna see all-time highs again. Like Karambit Emerald is gonna be twice as much as Butterfly. That is what I think will happen in the future. Just because that Dreams and Nightmare just ruins the game, right? So that is my prediction in the future. I'm not sure whether I'll be right or wrong, but we'll see. That we'll probably see in 6 months' time, right? So yeah, I think these are worth to take a look. Or even just buy a Karambit Emerald, right? It might really be a good investment. That's it, right? Whether you should buy Ruby and Sapphires, I would say that it probably might not be the case, because if you take a look in Karambit Dopplers, right, you have all these skins, right? And all these skins, there is literally like Chroma 1, 2, and 3. The collection is a lot. It's not like just staying to 2 collections. So, whereas if you take a look in Karambit your Butterfly Doppler, which is this collection, your USP Neo Noir, your Bloodsport, your Sia Later, and your Empress, I would say this collection, right, is much more common than the previous collection. So I don't think you might want to look into the normal Dopplers. It's not gonna be as rare as Karambit Emeralds in the future. This is gonna be my meta, and this is gonna be my guess towards it. So I think for any trade ups that towards Karambit Emerald, is definitely worth to take a look, and I won't be surprised to see it going up for Karambit Emeralds. So my prediction, what's gonna happen in the future, right, is gonna be your Butterfly Emerald, right? Those skins in that category is gonna go up in the long term. So your Ocean Drive, your Lead Museo, your Starlight, and your Nightwish is gonna go up by like 50%, right? That's my prediction. Basically, your Karambit Emerald, right? All these cases, right? Your Wasteland Rebel, your Mecha Industry, your Roll Cage, and your Revolution, in my opinion, right, it might be worth an investment for them, because I think these cases is gonna shoot up to 100% in the future, 100%, and that's it. 100%. It means that it wouldn't go over $120 US. It's probably gonna go maybe around $80 US at most. But that said, it's still quite ridiculous that you can trade $80 to an emerald, right? So what I think is gonna happen is the price will probably change a bit. Maybe your Karambit emeralds, sorry, your butterfly emeralds might drop in price, and soon these two is gonna match in the middle, right? But I do think that the Karambit emerald is much more worth of an investment than the butterfly emerald, in my opinion right now. So if I have a chance to snatch items that's in that category right now, I would be taking Karambit emerald instead of a butterfly emerald for these sales that's coming on the 30th October, you know, which is like in 2 days time or something. So in terms of glove wise, I would say definitely you should recommend. I would definitely recommend buying the Dragonfire, right, or whatever items that's cheaper, which is like your glove case. So I wouldn't say glove case might be a good investment, but I would say keeping some Dragonfire factory new ones that is in that category of 0.067 is definitely worth investing, because I think these coverts is gonna increase in prices in the future. Probably $3,000 a gun. I wouldn't be surprised for that, right? Because they qualify for your H-Maze, your Superconductor, your Pandoras, your Spearmint, and your Kimono, right? Which is like super ultra rare. So I would say aim to buy factory new ones that is at 0.0067 float range. If you happen to buy them, right, I think the investment would be double. Whereas for your C3 category glove, which is also known as your Gen 2 gloves, you should be aiming to buy your Bloodsport, your M4 Neo Noir, your Headshot, and your Tamukau. So these qualify for your Amphibious, your Vice, your Fate, and your King Snake gloves, and you should aim to buy them below the certain float cap, which is over here. Try to buy at this range, 0.01 range, and your Bloodsport is gonna be a lot lower. It's gonna be 0.008, because there's some kind of float calculation here. But just take note that if you happen to find anything that's lower than these floats, or you can just balance it out or around this range, right? Even this is like a 0.109, and if your Headshot is like 0.0133, right? It also can balance it out, but it cannot be too high, because if it's too high, it's not gonna balance it out even if you have a 0.00001, right? So try to balance things out and try to get float range around this range. It doesn't have to be below this. It can be around this range, because to do a trade up, you just have to find something even lower for the trade up. But aim to find this range, which is pretty rare right now, I would say, or people have already gotten the formula for those. So I think if you can happen to find anything that is below this float cap, right, in the long term, 100% increment in price, 200%, I wouldn't be surprised if you can find these floats right now. So regarding about the recent update, I think as I've just mentioned, right, I think recoil case and your dreams and nightmare case has been changed to a weekly drop. So I think from today onwards, right, you will be seeing dreams and nightmare case and recoil case flooding in the market, because Valve has did some kind of case manipulation or whatever you call that. Like whenever you play a weekly game, you can get a dreams and nightmare case and a recoil case, right? So I think you have to be careful of what cases you invest, because Valve can just change the weekly drop table anytime, and they can just release those cases as they wish. So definitely case is not a good investment right now. Do not invest in cases, instead invest in the right coverts, and that will be the future goal for Counter-Strike. And that said, do keep in mind that because we are in the meta that trade reverse can happen. So for example, if I were to sell you a skin, let's say at $10, right, and 6 days from now the skin have increased from $10 to $15, and I find that, hey, I've sold you 100 of these. If I were to continue, right, I could have lost a potential sum of money. So to prevent that, right, to prevent for me from losing 50% because the price has increased, now what I will do is I will decline the trade. I will reverse the trade and get back my items, so you do not get anything. And if you do not get anything, I will be the one that got back my skins, and you get trade reversed. And trade reverse, nothing happened to you. There's only something happened to me, and which is like a 30-day trade ban, which is fine to me, because since now I know that the skin price have increased by 50%. In the long term, technically it should be around that range, so I'm fine because I know I'm in profit, but you are not. So if you are using random sites that doesn't track these, right, they will just let you go away, right? And then what happened is that you're just gonna lose out in the value that you paid for, right? You thought you got a good deal, but it just got reversed. So you have to pick a platform that focuses a lot on trade reversal. Like some platform, they literally like ban users, or they confiscate funds, or however they do it, right? Some websites are just gonna do that. Especially website that only allows you to cash out after like 8 days. You know, probably those are websites that you want to use. Don't use like random sites that doesn't have all this TOS. It's gonna be very dangerous. So just be careful. And last but not least is invest in your own risk. And happy trading. This is not a financial advice video, but I hope you learned something in the float cap, and I hope you sniped some really good coverts that have really good floats for the love trader, as well as invest in the right thing, because now is really the best time. It's not gonna. I mean, this is like a 1 in 13 years thing, like this investment opportunity. So it's just gonna create a lot of money. It's like free milking device for new players to come in. Right? Old players just gonna lose a lot of money, but so what? You know, I'm new. I'm here to take the day, to take my throne. You know, so yeah. Happy trading and all the best.